Wouldn't it be nice if the government could outlaw whatever you think is morally reprehensible? If you think that could work, I'm afraid you will end up shooting yourself in the foot, because what we see time and time again is that this kind of interventionism is immoral and also counterproductive. The first issue with it is that it's immoral because it creates pressure groups that fight each other as opposed to finding common preferences with each other. The second issue is that it leads to results that are opposite of what the intended results were. For example, politicians outlawed drugs and declared war on drugs because they thought that drugs are dangerous and people shouldn't take them. But I follow Milton Friedman's stance on the war on drugs, which is that it had the opposite effect. It made drugs more dangerous. And the reason that is that drugs don't go away by decree. The demand for drugs doesn't go away by decree. You can't outlaw the demand. Some people might say, okay, I'm going to stop because the legal risk is not worth it. I don't want to get caught. But there's still going to be a lot of people who are going to keep doing drugs anyway. So now, effectively, they're being forced to commit a crime that they otherwise would not have committed. It turns law-abiding people into criminals. And now they're forced underground, where they have to buy drugs from really shady characters, where they have no legal recourse when things go wrong. Okay? So opposite effect of the intended one. Drugs got more dangerous, not less dangerous. Another example is abortion. I made a video earlier where I said I'm pro-abortion, but on a very strict timeline. Still, I would not be in favor of outlawing abortion. Why is that? So I said I'm in favor of abortion up until week 3 for reasons I'm not going to get into right now. But let's say a woman aborted in like week 4, okay? Should she go to jail? I don't think so. The reason is that the demand for abortion is not going to go away by decree. You can't outlaw that kind of demand. What'll happen instead is abortions will move underground, okay? Where those poor women who desperately need abortions for whatever reason, right? They'll have their reasons. For whatever reason, they'll have to go underground where they're not going to be able to see doctors there perform this, right? So now you can imagine that the risk of botched abortions is going to be way greater underground, okay? I'm an anarchist. I think the government should stay out of these things. I think the government just makes those things worse. I even caught myself the other day. I was thinking about infant circumcision, which I think is an absolutely disgusting, barbaric practice. Even I got tempted, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be nice if the government stepped in and outlawed that nasty tradition? And I thought about it, and I was like, well, Dennis, think it through. The demand for circumcisions is not going to go away just because the government outlaws it. Effectively, what would happen is the government would force people underground. And also something else to consider is a lot of the circumcisions that do happen, they're religiously motivated, right? There's a lot of religiously devoted people. Now, I think they're wrong to be religiously motivated, but that doesn't change the facts. I think they're wrong to be mystics, but that doesn't change the facts. So if you force them to choose between loyalty to the government or loyalty to their religion, they may well choose loyalty to religion, right? But then they're going to get the circumcision done underground, and think of all the horrible things that could happen there. And now we would have the same result. Circumcisions would become more dangerous when outlawed, not less dangerous. And the poor victims, the little boys, would be worse off, not better off. So as tempting as it can be, outlawing usually makes things worse when the demand can't be curbed by decree. You need to find another way. It just doesn't work that way.